Why God's fairness feels so unfair. Have you ever felt the weight of discipleship pressing on your shoulders? You've accepted Jesus, yet certain sins still cling to you, habits or thoughts that don't fit a heart pledged to King Jesus. Or maybe you see another believer who seems so much more faithful, disciplined, or together, and you wonder if you'll ever measure up. When our hearts and actions don't align, it takes a toll, doesn't it? We start to feel shame and a creeping sense of worthlessness. As new believers, our zeal sometimes races ahead of our maturity. We want to honor Christ, yet we say things in anger we later regret. We long for patience, yet find our words too quick and our grace too thin. Sometimes we're not crushed by God's judgment, but by our own expectations. Jesus understands that tension. Throughout the Gospels, he speaks into it through parables and teaching. The Sermon on the Mount paints the portrait of kingdom living, not just what we do, but the heart we do it with. And only God truly sees that heart beneath the actions. Today, I read a familiar parable with new eyes, the story of the workers in the vineyard in Matthew 20. It speaks to the very struggle we have when we compare, compete, and question our worth in the kingdom. A landowner hires workers early in the morning for a denarius, a fair day's wage, then again at noon, 3 p.m., and even 5 p.m. He keeps hiring. At the end of the day, everyone lines up for their pay, beginning with those hired last. To everyone's surprise, each worker, no matter how long they labored, receives the same denarius. Now, when those hired first came, they thought they would receive more, but each of them also received a denarius. Matthew 20, verse 10. At that moment, frustration begins to rise. They start to compare what they received with what others got, and soon the grumbling begins. These last worked only 1 hour, and you have made them equal to us who have borne the burden of the day and the scorching heat. Matthew 20:12. If we're honest, we can understand their reaction, can't we? It doesn't feel fair. We instinctively side with those who worked longest and hardest. After all, shouldn't more effort earn more reward? But Jesus isn't teaching economics here. He's teaching grace. The landowner replies, "Friend, I am doing you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for a denarius? Am I not allowed to do what I choose with what belongs to me? Or do you begrudge my generosity?" Matthew 20:13-15. We often focus on the all-day worker, the one who complains. We admire the master's generosity. But have you ever thought about how the 1-hour worker felt? Grateful, surely, yet perhaps a little unworthy. Maybe he looked at the others who toiled under the hot sun and thought, "I didn't do enough to deserve this." How often do we feel the same way? We see those who've walked with Jesus longer, served more faithfully, or produced more fruit, and we feel like imposters. But here's the truth. In the kingdom, none of us earn the denarius. Every one of us receives because of the master's generosity, not our performance. And yet we all stand to receive the same crown of righteousness on that great day. The thief on the cross will sit at the same banquet table as Abraham. Fair? No, but gloriously gracious. Because without the master's invitation, we'd all still be standing idle, hungry, and hopeless. The message is simple but life-changing. It's never about what we earn. It's always about who he is. The master is good, the master is generous, and his grace covers us all. What truth from this parable speaks most to your heart today? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Your reflection might be exactly what someone else needs this week.